Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Dumb Drafts, where the Crossing Broad staff and friends draft some of the dumbest things that we can come up with. My name's Kevin Kincaid, filling in for Russ Joy, who is the usual host of the program. Russ is doing something right now, maybe the Flyers, maybe he's moving into a new house. I don't know if they're doing Snow the Goalie, something like that. Russ is doing Russ things. So I'm going to run the show on today's episode of Dumb Drafts.
Trying to get the 13th forward on the Flyers on Snow the Goalie next week.
Russ is trying to book the 13th forward that the Flyers are going to have this year. He's trying to get maybe Nick Albe-Kubel or the young Beezer on Snow the Goalie. He's trying to book some guys for that show. As I said, my name's Kevin. That was the voice of Coggin Toboggan, Uncle Coggin, Robert Linehan, if you want to introduce yourself, sir.
Gentlemen, what's up? May we have the dumbest draft we've ever had today.
Hopefully this is the dumbest draft ever. And assisting us is Craig Dudek, who I don't think even eats fast food, right, Craig?
Not at all. I went out and did some market research last night, got some Chick-Fil-A and hated myself.
Okay, well, that's good enough. Craig, you're
Craig,
in.
You talked a lot of shit about White Lotus. I think you're dressed like an extra on the show.
Yeah, Craig's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I don't think he doesn't eat fast food. He eats like oatmeal and seeds and stuff. Right? You eat like seeds and granola bars and hiker food. And so, all right, well, we'll see. Well, that's intriguing. Then I'm intrigued to see what you come up with. The other voice you just heard was Tim Riley. Tim, how are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Had a COVID scare, but I've recovered from whatever I had, and apparently it wasn't COVID. So happy to be back on the mend.
Well, listen, maybe it was just the clap, and it's
true.
Not as dangerous as COVID. So
watching the Phillies collapse in the 8th inning is apparently a cure for COVID. So we're all fine in Philadelphia.
Right. Depression cures COVID.
We appreciate you joining us. And to round out our drafting team here, we have a special guest joining the program, a special guest drafter. You know him from The Middle and also from QVC as well. Now it's Eitan Shander joining the program.
Well, look, not many people refer to me as friend, so I assume of the five of us, when you said staff and friend, that was me. So I'm honored to be here, and that 16 other people said no before me.
No, yeah, you listen, Eitan, you're a friend of the program, whatever program,
program that might be.
Be it the defunct Crossing broadcast. It's always soccer in Philadelphia. Let's go to the phones on 92.9.
I love that.
Yeah, Philadelphia's 7th most popular sports talk radio station. Whatever show we have, you are more than welcome at any time. And we appreciate you joining us. So enough beating around the bush. It's time to reveal the topic for today's dumb draft. We are drafting fast food restaurants and chain restaurants. And we have set a couple rules that were agreed upon before the start of the exercise. We are going to allow all fast food, emphasis on food places, and chain restaurants as well. So McDonald's will be eligible. TGI Fridays will be eligible. However, we have decided to disallow gas stations, quote unquote. So there'll be no drafting of Wawa or Sheetz or Royal Farms or Circle K if anybody was going to go there. Probably not. And there will be no drink places either. So we're not going to do Dairy Queen or Rita's or Smoothie King, which if we were, I probably would have drafted Smoothie King, but that'll be another dumb draft for another dumb time. But that is going to be the topic for today. And before the show, we randomized the names to come up with the draft order. It's a snake draft. And the order is going to be Craig with the first pick. Eitan is going to pick second. I will pick third. Uncle Coggin will be picking fourth, and Tim will be picking fifth. So then we will go backwards, and Tim will get number 5 and 6. Coggin will get 4 and 7, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, you, Craig, are on the clock.
Well, first off, how many rounds are we doing, by the way?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should say that right. We're going to do 5.
All right.
So I have 25, right? So everybody will get 5 picks, and there are no rules other than what we just said. And after you do your selection, all you got to do is walk out on the stage, and Roger Goodell will give you a big squeeze, and you're good.
Well, then, with the first overall pick, I'm going to throw Kevin's draft order completely out of whack and go Taco Bell.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Craig, you want to run to the bathroom? You want to run to the bathroom now, or
right.
You can hold it the rest of the time?
Right.
I think I had Taco Bell 2 or 3 years ago, and it wasn't the worst.
Did you come in? So are you just trying to You're just trying to sabotage what I was going to do. Is I think what's happening here.
That is 100%.
So you're the Eagles trading up to draft Devontae Smith when the Giants wanted him, and I'm Joe Judge sitting here like an asshole now.
I'm sweeping the leg.
That's right.
Well, the criteria simply that sorry, I was just going to ask: is the criteria simply that it hurt you the least?
The criteria is that it's just you like it the most. It's the best.
Oh no, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
For that draft pick specifically, that according to your body, it just hurts you the least.
Well, we all have different bodies, So I'll just say that I'm a Taco Bell guy. I'm disappointed I'm not going to get him, but life goes on, and now we've got Eitan on the clock with pick number 2.
All right, so I'm going to appeal to anybody who's been in this area that is driven down for any type of spring break capacity or vacation, whatever it may be. We all know the typical chicken joints up here. And then as soon as somebody takes a bite out of a Bojangles piece of chicken, they always say, oh my God, the chicken, the biscuits, it's amazing. I would live down here in North Carolina just for Bojangles. So Bojangles for me, that's Travis Kelce in the first round.
Wow. I love it. That is very strong. It is like taking the best tight end in the first round of your fantasy football draft, because there's value, although maybe it wasn't expected, but I can't argue with that. Eitan showing off his prior residence in Nashville status with that selection, which brings me.
There's another chicken place that's coming deep in this draft. That's all Nashville.
Okay, well, I used to live down south too, so I think I know where you're going.
That's a Darko Milicic level risk number 2 overall pick right there, passing over Carmelo.
But Bojangles is like Joel Embiid before the navicular, like he didn't know what it was. But okay, all right. So I'm on the clock now, and I can't believe I'm disappointed about the Taco Bell pick, but this is a strong draft class, and I did my homework, and this establishment does have some off the field issues, we might say, and there's a little bit kind of culturally kind of buzzing around it, but the food is great, the service is excellent, the people are always very friendly, and so I'm going to go ahead with pick number 3 and take Chick-fil-A.
Damn, nice pick.
And then as I get done shaking hands with Roger Goodell, I'm going to give it to you, Coggin, for pick number 4.
That's right. I think there might have been some recency bias, since Craig mentioned he had Chick-fil-A last night and he did not feel very well afterwards. So, Craig, if you didn't have that last night, I think you might have picked them first overall. Am I correct in assuming that?
It was tempting. It was on the board. They were a high draft pick, but not a number 1.
Gotcha. Well,
listen,
frankly,
when you eat healthy all the time, like the one time you do eat fast food, you're gonna feel like shit. So I think that's just like natural.
That's right. The one time I should say, I can't believe this fell to number 4. And frankly, I'm overjoyed that it fell this far. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna pick one of the big chains in the country. Pick number 4 overall, Wendy's.
Oh, great one.
There's nothing better, gentlemen, than a Frosty. One, the Frosty machines are never broken. You can always get a Frosty if you're going to a Wendy's. They have above average burgers, usually great service. Wendy's is a top-notch pick, and Dave Thomas was the man. Wendy's.
You also have the Wendy's Frosty Freeze out too at the Sixers games, and
that's right.
With Dwight Howard no longer in the picture, somebody else is going to have to step up and take over the Frosty Freeze out Sixers hype man job. So maybe we'll find some rookie to do that. That's a strong pick.
We're also in the breakfast game too now.
Yeah,
they are.
I hear the breakfast is strong. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I know where I'm going tomorrow morning. I know where I'm going tomorrow morning. Okay, well, we're going to wrap up the first round then with Tim gets pick number 5 and number 6. Tim, the floor is yours.
I feel like Callie Roseman, like all the guys I wanted were picked just before, and now I have to settle for some crumb from the MAC.
Yeah,
or
a firefighter, or a guy who doesn't even like football.
That's right.
So
going to the Pac-12 for this pick.
I was particularly upset that Cog took Wendy's, because when I was a fat slob not too long ago, I went to Wendy's maybe once a week, sometimes twice.
Yeah,
I could do it without my wife finding out. But so I'll instead go to the fast food chain that I don't think anybody really likes, and yet their drive-throughs are always bumping. I think it's because they just sell nostalgia. I mean, this is a place my grandpa would take me. We'd walk Cotman in Frankfurt, and we'd get me a McDonald's Happy Meal.
Oh man.
And I don't know what the hell else McDonald's. I don't think the food's particularly good, but I think it's the French fries.
Mhm.
I think it's the French fries, and the burger. If you close your eyes, you can probably imagine you're eating a Wendy's burger. But let's just go McDonald's. What the hell? They deserve a first
Listen,
round
I
selection.
think it's a great pick. It's like, you had the really interesting wide receiver skill player on the board, but there was just a really, really good left tackle
Yeah,
there.
chalk
And
tackle.
so you just got to take it, McDonald's. All right, well, let's recap the first round then.
Sure.
Craig with the number 1 overall pick went Taco Bell, thinking outside the bun there. Aton with Bojangles, Kevin with Chick-fil-A, Coggin with Wendy's, Tim with McDonald's. I think that's a very strong group right there. And we're going to see how it continues with Tim in our snake draft now selecting number 6 overall.
So the tough thing here is you want to pick something. Maybe if it's even a reach, but you got to think it's probably not going to be there at the end of the 3rd round. So I'm going to go with Five Guys, burgers and fries.
Nice. Nice.
I love
Great,
Five
great.
Guys. I used to work at this company called IRM, and we'd sell fertilizer. So every time I'd walk in there, all the little rando places in Idaho, I'd be like, I know that place, Rexburg, Idaho, Pocatello, Craigmont, all the little places down in southern Idaho, nobody would know unless you're like, an aspiring Unabomber or something.
Well, we hope nobody is an aspiring.
Can you go to
Unabomber.
college for that?
We
What's
hope that
that?
nobody was inspired by Ted Kaczynski, right? We hope that there was only one of those. That's a good pick. So Tim goes with burgers, back-to-back burgers here with McDonald's and Five Guys. Will we make it 4 burger selections? There's an early run on burgers going here.
That's right.
Will Coggin make it 4 straight burgers with his selection?
That's right. I will say with McDonald's, that was a great pick, Tim. And it's the American dream of someone that has nothing to do with McDonald's, stealing the idea from two honest brothers in the Midwest, and then making millions off of their hard work and sweat.
Yeah.
So you really, you had the American dream right there in your hand, Tim.
Right.
I love that pick.
Listen, McDonald's is like Devontae Smith's there, but Penei Sewell is there, and you just gotta go with Penei Sewell.
That's right. There is something about a Big Mac too. I do like a Big Mac every now and again. I will not go burger. I'm going to break the burger trend.
Oh man.
And I'm going to go with my number 2 overall pick, Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
Which is a McDonald's product, right?
Is it?
It is, or it was.
All right. Well, there you go.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, we've had some health scares in the past. Everyone's, maybe there's some salmonella out there, but that's like off-field issues. Like we did our research, we did our interviews. They're coming off like good soldiers. So Chipotle bowl, a burrito bowl from Chipotle is just fabulous.
So if you're Howie Roseman, then we're at the press conference and I'm the reporter. I'm saying, how much did you consider the Listeria outbreak before you made this selection?
Well, we heard about it. It certainly came up in our interviews, but we've eaten there many times. Haven't gotten sick yet. We think they're going to be a great addition to our team, and we're looking forward to the future. Next question.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I have to say too. Yeah, the burgers was like 3 straight cornerbacks going off the board, and then Coggin basically just took the best available, kind of like the best available, I think. So we've got 2 Mexican places, quote unquote, off the board. We've got 2 chicken, 3 burgers. I'm going to continue with something that might get me fired by Kyle Scott, the maestro. But I'm not ashamed to admit it. Like, honestly, it's a guilty pleasure, and I'm going to kind of break the mode here. And I'm going to go kind of from fast food to more of like a chain restaurant. But I'm going B-dubs, man. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wow.
For my selection. Yeah.
They have good wings.
Now, Kyle hates Buffalo Wild Wings because I don't know, he wrote like 10 stories about it back in the day. What was the gist of it? He just thinks it's like crappy food, or it's like suburban chain, whatever.
Yeah, it's like broy. I think he had a problem with like their marketing
broy,
and like their average chicken wings. I mean, they're not bad, they're good chicken wings.
Hey Tom, do you have a thought on Buffalo Wild Wings?
Well, look, I don't want to upset the boss by any means. I think ultimately, though, they don't brand themselves as like good quality food, right? I think it's kind of accepted that you walk in there and you're going to get bar food for the most part. So it's not
Well, as
like,
long as we're all accepting that and we're not in
Yeah, yeah,
denial of it, I think you have to
no,
be
this
in the
is
right
not
head
Cheesecake
headspace.
Factory like level of cuisine that you're expecting in
That's
Tennessee
right.
Dubs.
That's
all.
right. That's right. Listen, I think when you're a suburban kid, you just like familiarity and like give me any of these shitty chain joints and I'll go there and I'll feel
Yeah.
comfortable. I don't got to eat at Vetri every day,
Well, the one is that still down there? Is it off Walnut or Chestnut? Right, the one
Vetri?
that was. No.
Oh. Buffalo Wild. No, I don't. I go to the one in Oaks now. So that's what...
Okay, you're a suburbanite. That's why.
There's no Vetri up this way, not that I know. Okay, anyway, Aton, you're up with your next pick.
All right, now this is a preemptive pick in the event that it gets taken, because I have one and then we're going 2 straight back to me. So I am preempting this from being taken off the board. And while I don't admit I frequent there, it is definitely the league leader of the cuisine that it represents, without a doubt, this area and beyond. So I will take Panda Express off the
Panda
board.
Express. Damn.
Wow.
That's
Airport
good.
food.
Yeah. The first.
And look, it's everywhere. Oaks to Center City and everywhere in between.
True.
It's like the league leader
Yeah.
for that cuisine.
There's one that opened on Aramingo Avenue
There you
as
go.
well not
Probably
long
the
ago.
second most popular behind McDonald's.
Panda Express, I love it.
Wow.
That is a good pick, and that is our first Asian food selection of the draft, and that brings us back to Craig, and you get 2 picks back to back for Craigers.
Yep.
I think this place is deserving of the second round. It's a place I would actually consider eating at if it came to it. Panera Bread.
Oh,
Feels
okay.
healthy,
great.
not overly.
Panera.
Feels it.
Panera's
Two
a good
rounds.
selection, man. Yeah.
2 rounds, there hasn't been one bad pick yet. This
There
is what
hasn't
happens
been.
when you don't invite Russ to the
Yeah.
podcast.
I thought
Russ has
Panera Bread
had
was
some
too highbrow
intelligible-
for the show.
Russ has just had some absolutely terrible. Like I had to write an entire story about how bad his one pick was in the one draft. Like it was worse than Bob winning the summer beers thing when he picked like a sour to start it off. Like nobody drinks a sour in the summer, but
Russ absolutely would have picked Roy Rogers by now. 100%.
Oh man, are they still around, or it's just on the
There's
turnpike?
one. There's
Yeah.
one off the Jersey Turnpike, a mythical one,
Yes.
right?
Right.
and then Russ's second pick would have been like Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Russ, you ever heard of Rax? No. Oh, that was a restaurant back in the day. Okay, so Craig goes Taco Bell, Panera, and he's got another pick right now.
Recap the second round.
Oh, let's recap the second round, right? Okay, so Tim started it off with Five Guys Burgers and Fries, Coggin with Chipotle. I went Buffalo Wild Wings, Aton with Panda Express, and then Panera Bread to wrap it up. So we got into restaurant territory and we got away from our run on burger joints. But they're all very strong selections, I believe. No selections that I think anybody would say were a reach. So we're going to see what Craig does here to start the third round.
So this one might be a little bit of a reach, not overly heard of, but the people behind it they're people dedicated to quality. I'm going with PDQ. It's a chicken joint from Florida, making their way to New Jersey.
Ooh.
Very good. Very good selection. I believe there is a PDQ on Haddonfield or what's the road that goes from the Cherry Hill Mall down to it splits the 2 like shopping centers. I believe there is a PDQ.
Yeah, Haddonfield Road.
Yeah.
73? Oh, okay.
Haddonfield Road.
Yeah, no,
right?
I think
There's
it connects 73, right? Haddonfield,
There you go.
Yeah.
38 and 73. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Well, that'll be our next dumb draft. So we'll pick our favorite roads in the
Yeah.
region. I'll
I
select
can't wait.
select the Schuylkill Expressway, number 1 overall.
Oh,
That's
come on,
a
you gotta
strong
go a
selection.
connector here.
A connect. Well, yeah, listen, there's a lot of candidates. You go for the Boulevard,
Admiral Wilson Boulevard.
the
number
Admiral
one.
Wilson,
Come
the
on.
Roosevelt. You go with 422 West. That'll be a draft for another time. Okay, so that's a strong pick by Craig. Aton, you're up next with your third pick.
All right, so I have one I know in the 4th round, one I know in the 5th round that I'm confident will still be there. The one that I don't think will still be around is one that I'm just amazed at how popular it is, especially with all the other options. But they don't go away. Sonic. I'll take Sonic. Yeah. Yeah.
Sonic.
With the ability now, you can sit in your car, they can skate your order out. So there was always that element, and they have like 1,000 different things you can order all at the same time, especially with those shakes, right? So
That's a strong
That's-
pick. There's a diverse offering
Yes.
on that menu. Plus, they have great commercials as well. And I think
Yeah, I
that
missed
has
the two guys. What happened to those two guys? Those idiots.
I don't know, but that feels like something I got to look into.
I think they got
Yeah,
the WIP late night shift.
Is that it?
I love that. I love Sonic. That's so old school. Like skate
It
your
is.
order out. I love that.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Bonus
there's one
points.
right by me up in Willow Grove, and I drive by it all the time. Like if I have to go to Hatboro or something, and I'm amazed that it is constantly jammed. The line, because you can connect to another road there, you can kind of sneak through the drive-through, and it's hard. It's really difficult to do that. It's constantly packed. So that was my indication.
Very good. I like that pick. And I honestly, I think I'm a little surprised that this one's still available out there. Maybe there just aren't a lot of fans of this place, but it was a frequent. I had one of these that was right down the street from me when I lived in Fishtown, and so we'd go there all the time just because you're like jonesing for some shit and you don't feel like driving or making a far walk or something like that. So I ate here probably way too frequently for my own health. You can feel your arteries hardening as the food goes down, but you enjoy it at the same time. And so we have the meats with Arby's.
Nice.
Dude,
An Arby's
Nihilist Arby's on Twitter is the best. If you guys follow that.
Yeah, it's a great Twitter account where they just like, well, they tweet about like anything and everything, right? It's just funny. It's like just a totally random like Twitter account. That's great.
Basically, like you're all gonna die. No one will remember you. Eat Arby's.
Arby's. I'd rank the curly fries number one. If I had to pick just a fry, if this was just a draft of fries, I would have had Arby's as my number one pick. But I'll eat anything from there, man. Anything at all. And that brings us to Coggin with his third selection.
Now, I love this pick. I was hoping they would fall to me. I'm very surprised they made it in the third round. I was thinking about taking them in the second round, but Chipotle just held too much value for me. I'm going to go with another burger place, ladies and gentlemen. A little place called In-N-Out Burger.
Oh,
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out.
Now, you're not going to find them on the East Coast, which might be a little bit of a deterrent for some people. But this is a truly elite pick because they were the first. You know, you think of like Five Guys, you think of Shake Shack. They were the first to not do the fast food burger at a fast food joint. Like it is a legitimately good burger that you can get at a fast food restaurant. It's got an amazing pop culture reference in Big Lebowski. You think Big Lebowski, you think going to the In-N-Out Burger after accosting little Larry or whatever the kid's name was in the movie. And it's great. It's great food. Great food, secret menu. You can't go wrong getting an animal style burger with zebra fries. Love that value at the third round pick.
That's a great pick. I got to say, the Coggin's having a very strong draft. Wendy's in the first round, Chipotle in the second round, and In-N-Out in the third round. But Tim,
I was going to say the West Coast people may not know the greatness of In-N-Out Burger if they've never been to the West Coast.
People might be sleeping on it. The South also has some unique places that I think me and Eitan are going to get into in the later rounds. But for now, Tim's up with his third selection.
So I'm happy that Cog took In-N-Out Burger because it leaves this restaurant, if you can call it that, open for selection. And, Irish guys like me, we love ethnic food. And what's more ethnic to an Irishman than Italian food, right?
I was concerned there for a minute. I didn't know where you were going. I thought I might have to add something.
That's right. Get the beep out.
And when you think Italian, you think pizza.
Yeah.
And I think about the little booklet campaigns I used to do when you were a kid. Actually encourage those fat slobs like me to read a book.
Love it. Or at least lie that you read all the books.
Yeah. Personal pan pizza at Pizza Hut.
Man.
Great when you eat it.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, you regret the decision. I mean, it's just really difficult on your toilet. But
man, now that's a great selection.
Amazing. That's the original pan.
The original pan pizza. I got to admit that, sometimes on a Friday night, if you don't know what you want to eat, you go to Pizza Hut, you get the square pizza, and it's like you get it in this huge like cardboard container, but it's like rectangular, and they put the pasta in there too. You can get like the Alfredo, the chicken Alfredo. You can get like breadsticks or like a cheesy bread, or you can substitute it for like a dessert if you want to. So I've heard about this. Yeah. The friends tell me that that's what it's like.
I do remember being so excited as a kid when they came out with the stuffed crust pizza. Like that was
yeah.
wild.
Yes.
What a moment in everyone's
See, but
lives.
listen, Coggin, did you buy like this, like them turning the pizza around and shoving the crust up to their face first? Like nobody really did that, did they?
You eat the crust last, and it was never as good. It was always like congealed nonsense when you got to it.
Yeah.
But goddamn, that first commercial when you saw someone bite into the crust and then the cheese came out.
It was
It's
a
like our
big
moon
deal.
landing.
Listen, I remember that was like a huge thing at the time. You know, it was kind of like when Biden went up to Obama during the healthcare press conference and he said, "This is a big fucking deal." You know, nobody had done stuffed crust before. You know, it was like, wow, what the hell is this? But no, nobody's turning it around and like eating it crust first because then it gets smaller. Like, how do you even hold it? It doesn't make any sense. So,
well, it's just about taking that first bite.
Right, the first bite. Maybe you just take one bite and then you turn the pizza back around. Yeah. And then you eat the rest of it that way. Thanks for clarifying that, Eitan.
The innovators that are Pizza Hut.
That's right. They were innovators. Yeah.
The Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy of fast food.
That's right. Okay. Well, listen, this was a strong third round. Craig started off with PDQ. Then Eitan went with Sonic. I went Arby's. We had In-N-Out Burger and Pizza Hut. I got to say, I'm impressed. You know, I do agree that not having Russ involved has raised the quality of the draft so far. Russ is kind of like the John Gruden of dumb drafts. if you think about it, right? Like just kind of reaching for dudes that aren't even first rounders, you know? So
absolutely.
Okay. Well, we're coming back around with Tim. So starting off the fourth round, and it's Tim again.
Yeah. I want even more diversity in my lineup. And there's this chicken place. It's out West. It's called El Pollo Loco.
Yeah,
something Russ would have drafted because so he could show off how he pronounces it. You know.
Yeah, look at me.
Like he's the only white boy who knows two L's is a Y in Spanish. You know, it's embarrassing.
By the way,
me gusta el pollo loco.
I've been to his hometown of Pottsville. We toured the Yingling factory or brewery or whatever, right? And I think there's literally only one fast food place in Pottsville, and it's Pizza Hut. It's an old Pizza Hut. So he would have drafted that first probably because like the only thing he knows. Like, what is he, like 19 years old now, right? From Pottsville. So he would have drafted Pizza Hut. That would have been his only selection. They would have reached for everything else. But Pollo Loco is a strong one. Let's take it back to Coggin and see what he has to say.
One last thing, Russ, valuable lesson. When you're not at the table, you're on the menu, buddy.
That's very true.
Well, let's see here. Couple good selections left. And man, I'm torn here. All right.
There's some that are falling down the board.
They really are.
I mean, like some of these restaurants are sitting backstage, like and they're the only one left, and they're just looking at their phone. Yeah.
All right,
Brady Quinn, man.
I'm gonna stay with chicken, and I'm gonna go just an old school KFC bucket of fried chicken. There's not a lot better in this world than getting that bucket of extra crispy KFC chicken. Don't give me the dumb sandwiches they have. Give me just the old school bucket, little bit of fried chicken. All right, maybe get some like popcorn chicken if you want to get fancy, but KFC is it.
That's a great pick, man.
Yeah.
Fourth round, Kentucky Fried Chicken. If we did this draft 10 years ago and I told you the KFC would go in the fourth round, that's crazy, man.
Right.
You'd either choke on the chicken or
yeah. Now, see, you could, if you wanted to, you could have tried to pull a fast one on us, and you could have said, "I'll take the KFC Taco Bell combo."
Well, that's not me.
Store, but that's kind of against the rules. I think that would have been overruled.
I'm more of a Long John Silver A&W root beer store kind of guy.
Wrong.
If they still have those, do they still have those?
Sure.
I've seen like
I'm
two.
sure.
There's a Long John Silver in Lansdale. However long I end up living here, I don't think I'll be going there.
No, I
not a
think
single
you're
time.
all right.
Listen, I'm going to take it back to everybody's doing a lot of fast food here. Maybe I'm the only like chain restaurant dude in the draft, but Tim mentioned exotic Italian food, and the first thing that I think of when I think of exotic Italian food is never-ending the never-ending pasta bowl and unlimited breadsticks, and I feel like I would regret if I did not draft the Olive Garden.
It's a good pick.
Yep.
The entire Midwest
mean-
is applauding your pick, Kevin.
Here's the thing. I know
Suburbs,
it's
too.
a huge pick in Indiana right now. Listen, you go here's what I like about chain restaurants. This is my take on chain restaurants. You could go to many, many great independent places in Philadelphia, but if I'm like on the road, if I'm driving my kid to soccer and we're in some tournament, some state I've never been to, I know that when I go to like TGI Fridays or Cheddar's or the Olive Garden, like I know what I'm getting, I know it's not 5-star cuisine, but it's consistent, right? So, for exotic Italian food, I'm going with the Olive Garden. And now it's Eitan's turn to pick.
That's a really strong pick. I mean, especially because, as you mentioned, it's the staple as far as that cuisine. So I'm going to stay in this mode of trying to find the league leader of a cuisine, and I'll go to breakfast. I'll take IHOP.
Ooh.
I don't care
I
how
thought
old
that
you
was going
are.
to be Waffle House.
No. See, Waffle House, I feel like has such a bad connotation to it, where it's like, like what's happened in your life that you're now at Waffle House. Whereas IHOP, I feel like no matter who you are, whatever history you have, we've all been drunk, as early as you could get in there or late as you get in there. We've all eaten pancakes and super late. And look, if you have their other stuff, super frozen stuff, I get it, but their burgers aren't terrible. Like they always have some sort of stack sandwich. So IHOP for the breakfast appeal, but also because a lot of the other stuff isn't terrible by any means.
Now, listen, that's a great Waffle House point. And, what I would say after living in Georgia for a couple of years is that nobody ever goes to Waffle House, right? You just kind of end up at Waffle House, right? It's like if you're in a rock band, you don't go to Los Angeles, you just kind of end up there because that's where the scene is. When my band would play it in South Carolina and Georgia, we'd make maybe like $40 a show, right? And it was bullshit. What we're gonna do? Give each of the 4 guys $10 each, right? So what we would do after every show is we would just go to the Waffle House with like the 4 of us and like 3 girlfriends, and we just buy Waffle House after the gig. So again, but we didn't plan to do that. I was just like, well, we got some money and Waffle House is there, so we ended up there. All right. Anyway, we're gonna toss it back to we're gonna finish the 4th round with Kreger's.
So I'm going to go across the street from my last pick locally. I'm going to go to Wahlburgers.
Wahlburgers.
Wow.
I was watching Boogie Nights the other night, and I felt inspired to give Marky Mark a vote of confidence here.
Such an idiot.
See, now
I
that's
didn't know we had those around us.
Fucking idiot.
Now this is like a next level kind of burger place. You can go to like, what's the other one, like Habit or something, or Elevation Burger.
Elevation,
I think is another one. There's like a level up, like a kind of like a newish kind of burger place. And for somebody who's like a fit hiking cross country runner, I could see I see a pattern here in Craig's draft.
Raising the bar.
You've really seriously. I didn't even realize these high bar options were available on this show.
So not only
with some strong ones.
See, not only do you get a good laugh, but you learn something when you listen to dumb drafts, which was not our intent when we started this podcast. But I there we go. We'll take it. All right. So we've got Wahlburgers, IHOP, Olive Garden, KFC, and Pollo Loco. Another strong round. I'm very impressed with everybody so far in this draft. I think it's been a good exercise, but we got one more round to go. And Craig, why don't you give us your final pick?
You guys have inspired me with your dive into the Italian worlds of fine delicacies. I am going to go with Primo Hoagies.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Really nice.
Right.
Yes.
The cuz just woke up.
It's a primo.
Make it a primo.
Do you think the cuz is more angry about the Italian meat salmonella thing, or Ben Simmons sucking it up?
True.
When we did the
one and one
He probably has his intern take the first bite of his sandwich before he eats the rest of it.
when we did the Italian meat store, I was gonna call up the Tunis and be like, "Yo, just check on Anthony, make sure he's okay here." Because Primo Hoagies. Listen, you want to hear something really stupid? When we did the first, not this year, but last year, when the first Italian meats story came out, I threw up like 200 words on it and linked to another story and did like a Sopranos joke or whatever. I think 20,000 people read it on Crossing Broad, and I'm not sure how that happened. Our SEO must be that good, but I think it was like the #1 story for like 2 straight months was people clicking on Italian meats salmonella and then watching the video clip of the gabagool from The Sopranos,
I thought you were
Gabagool
doing cousin impersonations. or
over
something.
here. Bring the
Right.
gabagool over here. That's a good pick, Craig. Primo.
Yeah, that's pretty
hoagies,
good.
man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
Primo's
see.
very good.
I'm very curious to see what Aton does to round it out here. I think I know where he's going.
Well, see, here's the thing. I want to go sneak pick. I want to take the kid from Division One AA that nobody's heard of. That's going to be a star here in the league.
Mhm.
But I'm afraid not enough people know about Church's Chicken. I'm afraid that not enough people know about just how you talk about what's gone wrong in your life. That was me in Nashville, like showing up to a Church's Chicken at the end of the night out. So I'm going to still appeal to my time in Nashville because I believe, at least in my fat history, this was the only place that served the breakfast all around before McDonald's and others got in it. And that is a classic, one that I gained probably 15 pounds alone eating in Nashville. Jack in the Box.
Oh,
Jack in the
Oh,
Box.
I was thinking
Wow.
about taking that next, Aton. That's a good pick.
That is a great
Solid.
pick.
Thank you, brother. Hey,
Jack
I'm
in
telling
the
you, man, I'd
Box.
show up morning radio in Nashville. I'd have to be there 4 a.m. First time in my life I've ever gotten up that early. I'd wake up, smoke something, just drive down there and just inhale like 2 or 3 things on the Jack in the Box menu and realize, like, wait a second, you can get their Angus beef sandwich at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. for breakfast. And then you can get breakfast at 9 o'clock at night. So until I realized that you could eat other things in Nashville, that was my go.
Their
So-
tacos are so bad.
Ooh,
And
tacos.
no, hold on. They're so bad and they're so good at this. It's like it defies. It's like you're stepping into another dimension where you're like, this is the grossest thing I've ever put in my mouth, but I have to have like 15 more of them. They're
That's
so
Jack
bad.
in the Box, brother. Yeah.
Oh, they're great. I think like the New York Times or the New York Times literally did a story a couple years ago on their tacos and just like why people buy them when they're so disgusting, but they are like far and away the most popular thing at Jack in the Box.
So there's a road in Augusta, Georgia called Walton Way. And it's like the Baltimore Pike of Augusta, where every single fast food restaurant, they all put them on the same strip, right? And there's a stretch of Walton Way where there's 4 chicken places right in a row. Okay. So it's Church's, Zaxby's, Popeyes, and KFC, all like all 4 of them are literally right next to each other. It was like the having to drive by that every day. You wanted to pull in, but trying to watch the figure, as they say. All right, listen. I was gonna go with a really underground pick for this one to kind of throw back to my college days. College chain I was gonna go with. But I feel like we would be called out if we didn't draft this at all. And I don't know if Coggin and Tim are going here. So I feel like I got to save face for us a little bit. And I got to take Burger King.
Yeah, that was there. Burger King's solid. I'm surprised it
Yeah.
lasted this long.
Yeah, a 5th round pick.
I'm
That's like when
still-
Rick Williams went in the 5th round of our news anchor draft and we got ripped for it,
That's right.
I think I'm still waiting for the last order I placed at Burger King. That's my only beef with it. It takes forever.
It does. Their fries are wanting to. You either love them or you hate them because they got like that weird kind of like coating on them. I think they're good, but there's something about a Whopper too that is just like you can't.
That's right.
It's just got mayo on it, like, but you can't replicate it anywhere else. Like
I felt like I was obligated. I wanted to find, like, I was kind of like Aton. I kind of wanted to find like the Jordan Mailata of the draft, but there's like like a Jason Kelsey was sitting there, so I had to do it. So all right, Coggin, why don't
Haven't
you
they
wrap?
changed their fries a bunch too, like 6 or 7 times over?
They have, yeah. They got the chicken fries too, man.
Yeah, they're always adding stuff. They did have tacos for a little bit. I think that was a
Yeah,
short-lived experiment.
yeah.
So,
Well,
You
thankfully.
know where there are tacos everywhere, apparently. Todd.
yeah, well, I'm a big taco guy, but I'm not going to fast food for tacos. I'll tell you that much.
There's still
Let's
one more
see.
taco place on the board, by the way.
There is, but I don't think I'm now. This is I debated on this pick, and I love this pick. It's not burgers, it's not Mexican, it's not Asian, it's not sandwiches. Well, it could be a sandwich, however you think about it. I am going to go with my last pick, Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs,
Oh,
which is and if you go to a Nathan's Famous where they have a liquor license and you can get beer as well, you're in for a day, my friend, because one, their hot dogs are amazing. And when you can combine that with like I remember the last time I went to Coney Island, and we went to the original one, and they were selling like 64-ounce Red Dog beers. Why they had Red Dog, I don't know, but pounding hot dogs and pounding like $5 64-ounce Red Dog beers, I had to pick it. It was one of the best days I've ever had. Nathan's Famous, great hot dogs in and of itself. Get a good beer with it. Perfect last round pick.
Great pick. And I got to say, Nathan's they do the hot dog eating contest every year, right? Now, did you see the recent article about how eating a hot dog takes 36 minutes off your life or something,
Yes.
right? So we can assume that Joey Chestnut is dead already.
Well, yeah, he would have died like 100 years ago.
Yeah,
That's
just
right.
eating, or when I remember the Man versus Beast, where Kobayashi tried to take on a bear in a hot dog eating contest. I think at the end of the contest, they both took an entire week off of their life. Just they called the bear the Alaskan Cruncher, and they hung an American flag up over top of him, and they hung the Japanese flag over Kobayashi, and they did the Man versus Beast. But the Alaskan Cruncher ate like 10 hot dogs per bite. So it's like he's dying like 5 hour chunks, So
Well, do we know if it takes life off of a bear? I mean, human beings have a little bit different, right?
that's true. I'd have to look into
Could
the
add life
metabolism.
to a bear.
It very well could. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll put an addendum on the end of the podcast here. But meantime,
But I was going to say, I think if you
yeah.
pair it with a beer, it adds 30 minutes back to your life. So it's a wash.
All right,
it's
okay.
Guys, if Joey Chestnut's toilet could talk, man, that fucking thing would have PTSD.
Oh my God. Yeah. And even like people who eat the wings and stuff, like the Black Widow, Sonia Thomas, El Wingador, Molly Schuyler, like all these people, like they're probably seeing that, and that they're eating at the places that Craig's eating, now they're eating granola. So, all right. Well, Tim, take us home, man.
I think Craig, aren't you up next?
No, it's you to
I
round
think
it
you're
out.
it.
You're it. This is
No,
the last one.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
it, baby. Make it a
Well,
big one.
man, I can already see like Cog working the phones to scoop up the undrafted free agents. They're so God. Do you go with Popeyes with that chicken sandwich that beggars belief? Why
It's going to be a strong undrafted class, man. There's like 15
Yeah.
Corey Clements.
I mean, I think we're going to really piss off our stoner set by not picking White Castle, but I don't want to go there either.
Ooh, White Castle.
Oh.
I am going to go with a place that is a little nostalgic for me. My family, we would go every Easter for, I don't know, since I was in 7th grade or something. We'd round out our Easter by going to TGI Fridays. And
Wow.
I want my baby back ribs. That's what I want right now. So
I'm
that's
just
what
glad
gonna
that
have.
I'm just glad somebody entered into like the chain restaurant.
Wait, isn't Chili's the baby back ribs though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
that's right, yeah.
that's true.
That's right.
So
Well,
I screwed that up.
Well, listen,
Nevertheless,
we're going to give you a one-time. This is like when Kyle thought he was drafting Steve Martirano, but he drafted Steve Fredericks instead. Or what happened there? There was some kind of like he got penalized big time. I'll give you a one-time chance to switch TGI Fridays to Chili's.
No, it was TGI Fridays we went to. I just screwed up the tag.
You and Allen
But
Iverson both.
Yeah, I mean, well, when Alan got kicked out of Hula Hands, he went over to TGI Fridays, or it was vice versa.
Well, and that would wrap it up. And there are some strong undrafted free agents on the list. Zaxby's, the Texas Roadhouse. Nobody said Sbarro, Del Taco, Subway.
Del Taco is the big one, yeah.
Cracker Barrel. I think that's racist. I don't know if I can say that. Cracker Barrel. There are a lot of good ones there, but I think we had a strong draft. So like I said at the beginning, we don't have a judge. We're going to toss it to you, the listener, to judge on social media. We'll put the graphic up and we'll have everybody say who did the best or who did the worst, right? But let's just recap here. So Craig went with Taco Bell, Panera, not Pantera, Panera, PDQ, Wahlburgers, and Primo Hoagies. That's pretty strong. Everybody like that? You guys like that? Those selections?
Yeah, you could eat that all, like rotate each day for like 2 weeks and probably not gain weight. You pick some like decently healthy spots compared to the rest of the shit.
Well, listen, if you did like Panera Monday, PDQ Tuesday, Wahlburger Thursday, Primo Friday, then Taco Bell on Saturday, you can just clean it all out then afterwards. So
you're definitely going to get some.
Diablo.
You're definitely going to get some points off from our fat fuck subsection of listeners.
That's everybody.
That's right.
Eitan had a very interesting draft, but a strong draft. I don't consider any of these reaches. He went Bojangles in round 1, Panda Express in round 2, Sonic in round 3, IHOP in round 4, and then Jack in the Box in round 5. Does anybody have any strong feelings about that one?
I love the
think they're
Jack
all
in the
good.
Box pick. I love that pick.
Jack in the Box is a great pick. That could be like a Jalen Mills kind of pick. Like you're not really sure about it right off the bat, and the next thing you know, he's starting for you in the Super Bowl. You know, opposite Ronald Darby. All right, so I went with Chick-fil-A, Buffalo Wild Wings, Arby's, Olive Garden, and Burger King. Does anybody have any comments on that?
I like the Olive Garden simply because it's like, as you mentioned, Indiana, Midwest, but let's be honest, people are fooling and lying to themselves if they're not eating it down the street from you, me, or anybody else on here.
That's right. I think there's one on Route 309, actually. I may take the family there tomorrow night as a weekend gift. Uncle Coggin, went Wendy's, Chipotle. Now, nobody went Qdoba. You know, Qdoba didn't go. Chipotle went. He went In-N-Out Burger, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Nathan's famous hot dogs. I think this is a very strong draft. I think there's a lot of value at KFC at number 4. I think KFC fell down the board a little bit, but that was a very strong draft. Tim went with McDonald's, Five Guys, Pizza Hut, Pollo Loco, and TGI Fridays. Any strong feelings on Coggin or Tim's selections?
Well, I was going to, instead of Nathan's, I was thinking about, there's a West Coast hot dog chain that is excellent that I don't think anyone would know here. It's called Wienerschnitzel. They're only in California, I think, maybe like in Washington, but they're fabulous. If you're ever out there, ever see a Wienerschnitzel, go hit them up. They're good too.
So we did a lot of burger joints, a lot of chicken places. There was one Asian place on here. Pretty much straightforward. It's kind of what I would expect for this group. But we're gonna put
it a compliment or
5 white guys from the suburb. Well, Tim's not from the suburbs. You're from Mayfair, right?
So, yeah, I'm from Philly.
Yeah, okay.
Born and raised, probably die here too.
5 white. Well, that sounds very depressing.
At least not from COVID, you know that.
In the next dumb drafts, we'll do Philadelphia neighborhoods, and you can take Mayfair number 1.
I'll end up drafting like 4th, and Mayfair will get scooped from under me.
You'll have to take South.
It'll be the one neighborhood Russ knows in Philly. I'll be screwed.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, that was an excellent exercise. I think everybody did a great job. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Good job, everybody.
Hey.
And Eitan, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. You are a friend of the program. How would you describe your experience on the Dumb Drafts podcast?
Highlight of my day.
The highlight of his day, which means that it probably was not much of a day at all.
No, but listen, I trust me, I'd much rather talk about this than the Eagles quarterback situation. Are you kidding me?
You don't think that they won the joint they're their joint practice champions of the world?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to ruin what we've just done and dignify that with an answer.
Yeah. That's well, listen,
please tell me that's an Elliott Shore Parks thing. It has to be. It sounds just like him.
That's right.
Just wait until you see Nick Mullins get cut and he did gang time.
Yeah. Well, I hear they're raising the banner for the Philadelphia Eagles joint practice 4-0 perfect record.
Can't wait.
And we'll toss it to you, the listener, to see who won this episode of Dumb Drafts. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.